Let's see how you do under pressure. Oh, yeah, I've been wanting this forever. I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me. Brush it off, pick myself up, moving on to the better. Okay, hey, yeah, ain't no errors, baby, it's a new era. I wake up early, feeling rich like I'm Kesha. I get to the paper, boy. Extra, extra.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome in to another podcast to talk about our favorite team, the Arizona Cardinals. And ladies and gentlemen, the draft has now come and gone. And let me just tell you right now, I still do feel till the day, till the minute, till the hour, till the night that the Arizona Cardinals had the best draft in the entirety of the NFC West. At me if you want to, but I still do think that the Arizona Cardinals are primed to have a very, very good defense heading into the 2025 season. But shout out to the people that are currently in the chat right now. We got Andy, we got Gustavo, we got Adrian, we got Miguel, we got True Motivation, we got Jazz, Ivan at the very top. Appreciate you all for being here. Definitely do me a huge favor. Smack up the like button here on your way in. Absolutely appreciate you guys for tuning in. And on top of that, smack the like button here on this video. We are on the road to 17K. Cannot do it without you guys. This is probably one of the very last times we will be getting Cardinals content in such a clump because, you know, obviously the draft is an exciting time, right? The draft is an exciting time here for the Cardinal fan base, for the NFL, and now we're just kind of waiting for the schedule release. That's what we got in May, the schedule release, and then hopefully, obviously, all the off-season things like training camp and all that stuff. But, you know, let's take it as it comes. Let's recap what was going on in the 2025 NFL draft. And on top of that, the Cardinals did sign some new players, undrafted free agents, that we're going to be talking about here as well. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Let's go ahead and get started. And let's start off with the recap, shall we? Let's go and start off with the recap here. Now that the draft has come to an end, the Arizona Cardinals, I do feel like, has had a fantastic job in the 2025 season. There's some people that say that the Cardinals absolutely aced it. I think they did a really good job. I would say ace. Yeah, I definitely would say. I won't say A+. I think I would say probably along the realm of like A- to like B+, right? I think more A- because of who they picked in the very top of the draft. Now, there is some people down in the middle as well as the end of the draft that are intriguing. I get that there's some Cardinal fans out there that are really looking for very specific positions, like a wide receiver and then potential some tackles. Well, guess what? We're going to talk about some tackles a little later on that the Cardinals has just signed, so stay tuned. But, you know, a lot of people are kind of really basing it off of you took 6 out of the 7 defensive guys, right? No offensive guys other than the 6th round guy, which was a guard, right? And that's Hayden Connor. So a lot of people are really kind of, I guess, confused and or upset. I've seen some upset people out there that do not like the idea that the Cardinals didn't go wide receiver or didn't use a high value pick on an offensive lineman. But the way that, you know, Monty Ossenfort described it and explained it here in his latest presser was the fact that he wasn't going to sacrifice going for a specific position if he has somebody higher on his board. And the way that it's fallen was all these guys were higher than most offensive people on their boards, right? The way that it fell, Cody Simon, Denzel Burke, Keaton Crawford, right? Jordan Burch, obviously Will Johnson, right? How he fell that far down is beyond me, but actually we know why, because of the knee injury, right? Or at least the worriness of the knee injury. But obviously Will Johnson, then Walter Nolan, right? There's a lot of Cardinal fans out there like, oh, you should have done more offensive side of the ball. Well, I mean, I kind of get that sense of the coin, but at the end of the day, like I said before, Monty Ossenfort has not led us astray, especially in the draft, right? We know he knows what he's doing. So all we can do at this very moment is allow him to cook, right? All we can do right now is allow him to cook. So let's go ahead and do a real quick recap. We are going to be using the ESPN website. We're not going to spend too much time on the recap. We're just going to basically go over what we got, what I really like about these players. We are going to have a designated video specifically breaking down these players a little later on in the week, but we're just going to kind of go over these players and let me know what you guys think overall, right? So the Cardinals start off the 2025 season with obviously picking one of their most exciting picks. Obviously, the first round is usually the most exciting, but they ended up going after Walter Nolan out of Ole Miss. And the giddiness in this front office slash regime, they're really, really excited about Walter Nolan. They're really excited about Walter Nolan. And just like listening to Walter Nolan, like during his presser, like, I don't know, there's something about him. I'm not sure if he's just because he's really, really young, right? There's like a sense of innocence from Walter Nolan that like I truly believe what he said, right? Like he ended up kind of, and I'm going to paraphrase. I'm not really quoting him to the to the T, but one of the reporters ended up asking him like, you know, JG and Monty was talking about how big your heart was, right? And I'm talking about Walter Nolan, like how big his heart was. And they were like, "Can you describe what they meant?" And he was basically saying like, if I rock with you or if I ride with you, then I would literally give my shirt off my back, right? This shirt right here that I'm wearing, I would literally take it off my back and give it to you, right? Like that's pretty much what he's insinuating. So like listening to that side of it all, like Walter Nolan seems to be a guy that will run through a brick wall for you if he truly does like you. If he truly does like you, he seems to be a guy that will absolutely run through a wall for you. And honestly, that's kind of the culture that's been established here, right? There's a reason why in that report card for the Arizona Cardinals, one of the only few A's, right, that we got on there was our head coaching staff, right? One of our very few A's was the fact that the coaching staff was great, right? Everything else was terrible or subpar, but our coaching staff, right? An A. So you got to give credit to where credit's due that Jonathan Gannon and his regime are doing everything they can to obviously, change the culture from the last 3 years and now making it, this is Jonathan Gannon's world, right? This is Jonathan Gannon's team. So yeah, Walter Nolan, a really cool pickup. I, when we picked him, I wanted to do a little bit more research on him, but now I'm completely 110% sold. I like him as a person. I want him to succeed. I want him to be the next Aaron Donald. 6'4", 296, 21 years old, lady. He's only scratching the surface of what he can accomplish. As long as he can just continue to get better and better and better, we potentially can have a beast at the interior for the Arizona Cardinals defensive line. So love the pick. Next up, we got Will Johnson. This is the pick that I got actually uber excited for. This is the pick right here that I got absolutely uber excited for. I don't think I expected Will Johnson to fall as far as he did. Where the Cardinals ended up picking him absolutely blew my mind. Now, not only that, ladies and gentlemen, I was actually a little worried that the Cardinals were not going to pick him, that he was sitting there at 47 and the Cardinals were not going to pick him. Like there was a little worry that has set in from me that I'm like, I'm not sure if Monty's going to do this because obviously every single team has passed up on Will Johnson and the Cardinals end up pulling the trigger and they did exactly the right thing. Like this is an attribute that they pay close attention to their board and they stick to their board, right? Like if they didn't stick to their board, they probably would not have gone Will Johnson. But Will Johnson is arguably the best cornerback in the 2025 draft. And guess what? The Arizona Cardinals got him with the 47th overall pick. This is a great, 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 great draft for the Arizona Cardinals so far in rounds 1 and round 2. You got a really solid potential lockdown corner for the future of the Cardinals. Fingers crossed. I'm just really, really excited about Will Johnson. 6'2", 194, really flourishes during zone, but it's got the instincts, man, the instincts of what these wide receivers and what the offense could potentially want to do. He's got a way to combat that, and he could be a real good playmaker if he can stay healthy. And that's one of the big things that we got to worry about, right? If he can stay healthy. Now, I do see some super chats piling up. We will get to the super chats, I promise. Let me just continue with the remaining of the guys. Like I said, I'm not going to go too deep into recapping. We will save another video for it a little later on because there's other news we want to get to in the stream a little later on as well. So I appreciate the super chats that are piling up. Let me get to my next guy here. In the third round, the Cardinals end up going Jordan Burch. So automatically you got defense, defense, defense. And then you got two defensive linemen. So Jordan Burch, man, 6'4", 279. Now, I didn't know him. I'm not going to lie to you. When the Arizona Cardinals chose him, I was like, okay, right? Defensive line, that seems to be kind of the big focal point for the Cardinals. In this offseason, we addressed it mightily in free agency, and people thought that the Cardinals were going to go offensive side of the ball, but they didn't, right? How the board fell, just like Monty Ossenfort has said time in and time again, they're going to stick to their board. And Jordan Burch doing a little, digging into him. This is a versatile player. Like, this is a guy that can play like he's listed as an edge player, but has got the ability and got the body type to be a three tech, right? Now, he did say in his combine that he might need to put on some more weight if that is going to be the route that the Cardinals want to use him at. I believe right now he's listed as 6'4", 279. So if they want to use him as a three tech, he's probably going to have to add some more weight. But he's listed as an edge rusher, right? He's listed as an edge rusher. And with what I've seen, the way Oregon has used him, he looks pretty good, man. He looks pretty darn good. And not just that, just how big of a body he is, right? And I've seen kind of conflicting information out there. I saw a website that said he had 8.5 sacks, and then another website that said he had 10 sacks. Regardless of it's 8.5 or 10, this is a good pick. It really is. This is a good pick for the Arizona Cardinals, continuing to bolster up that defensive line. And obviously, the question kept coming to Monty, why are you adding more people when arguably the Arizona Cardinals defensive line has automatically like upgraded from 2024 to 2025? And it has. But Monty Ossenfort actually described this perfectly. The fact that you can have a well-stocked depth defensive line or any other position in a team. But this is such a physical game that things can change from week to week. Things can change from week to week. That your great or group or core that you had can be swallowed up by injuries, right? Remember this, the Cardinals went two defensive linemen two years back in free agency, Bilal Nichols and Justin Jones. They were set to be Iron Man when we brought him in, right? They were hurt. Jonah Williams, the same thing. He was supposed to be an Iron Man. And it's just so unpredictable, right? It's so unpredictable. Sorry. It's so unpredictable to know what's going to happen, right? Injuries, unfortunately, happen in this game. So any chance the Cardinals can add a really good, talented player on the field, they're going to do it. They're going to do it. So Jordan Burch has come in as an edge rusher. Now, I have seen a highlight reel that he was used on a special teams play. I'm not sure if the Cardinals are going to do that, but that would be pretty cool to see something like that. So Jordan Burch, the third round pick, love it. Now this is going to be where um it- I like some of these picks, but some of them I'm like, okay, right, let's see what it goes, right? So a couple picks that I really do like. Actually, let's start from the top, right? Cody Simon. I'm not gonna lie to you, I didn't really know too much about him, right? Everything that you see, whether it's on PFF or whether the grade is right here on the this website, a lot of things don't really kind of establish who Cody Simon is, right? 6'2", 229 out of Ohio State. We got back-to-back Ohio State guys that we're going to be talking about here pretty soon. But the good thing that I've seen about Cody Simon is the fact that his ability to shoot the gap and stop the run is bar none one of the best things I've seen in a very long time. Now, granted, college to the NFL, that's night and day, right? We're not going to come out here and say, oh, he was great in college. It's going to translate. We've seen things that don't translate from the college level to the NFL level. But one thing that I can say about Cody Simon, looking at the film or looking at the highlight reels, that he's really, really good in shooting the gap, going side to side, but he really flourishes and stopping the run. The grading of the passing wasn't great. I'm not going to lie to you. It wasn't great, but intriguing, right? Monty Ossenfort ended up coming out and saying, there's something about bringing guys with the winning culture, something about, bringing in players that have a winning culture, and especially because Ohio State just won a national championship not too long ago. Cody Simon, national champion. Denzel Burke, a national champion. Now let's talk about Denzel Burke. Now this is going to be where I'm not going to say confused, but it's just we got so many cornerbacks. We got so many cornerbacks right now on this team. So many. Denzel Burke is just another one being added, 5'11", 186 out of Ohio State as well. The big reason why he described bringing him in was the fact that he was going against all these big-time wide receivers in Ohio State, right? We've seen a plethora of Ohio State wide receivers coming out of the draft, and all of them look very, very good. And I'm not just talking about Marvin, right? I'm talking about Jackson Smith and Jigba. Chris Olave, if he can stay healthy, looks pretty good, right? There's a lot of recent Ohio State guys. Garrett Wilson as well from the Jets looks pretty darn good as well. So there's a factory of wide receivers coming from there. So that's one of the main reasons why he ended up bringing in Denzel Burke. I need to look a little bit more deeper into him, but man, this cornerback core that we got going on right now, it is crowded to say the least. Let's see what happens. Next pick on the 6th round, the Cardinals go with Hayden Connor, guard out of Texas, 6'6", 314. And like, same thing with him. When you look at like things outside, he doesn't really seem to kind of grade well. But like I ended up seeing this here on X/Twitter, and I want to kind of bring it to light. It is from PFF College. This tweet was put out a while ago, and I believe it was the end of last year. And it says this: Texas guard Hayden Connor this season, so the guy that we just got as an offensive guard, this is his rankings or his stats, right, in college this last year. 443 pass block snaps, 0 sacks allowed, 2 QB hits allowed, 90 pass block grade. So, for what it's worth, you do see some conflicting things here and there about this pick, but I mean, this is our one and only drafted offensive person or player, right? This is the only one right here. This is the only one in Hayden Connor. So maybe a future guy for the Arizona Cardinals in terms of potentially a guard. Right now, it seems like it's probably most likely going to be Evan Brown that they ended up bringing back. And I've been saying this for at least 3 weeks or maybe even a month. I think the Cardinals are probably going to give the nod to Isaiah Adams, if I'm going to be real. And that's the guard that we ended up getting in the third round last year. I think they're going to give the nod to him. Now, if they don't do that and they really need some serious help, hey, maybe they can ring the phone of Will Hernandez back again. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, they seem to be pretty confident in what they got going on. But Hayden Connor being a late round pick, let's see if he stays on the 53. And now the last pick was going to be Keaton Crawford out of Nevada, a safety. Monty ended up saying that there was either a couple or one general manager reached out to him and said, "Oh man, you got my guy," right? So, I mean, for what it's worth, that's cool to hear that there was other teams that were looking to potentially bring him in. But this guy is probably going to be a special teamer for the Cardinals. I'm going to be real. It's probably going to be a special teamer for the Cardinals. Right now, the core that we have, especially with Dadrian Taylor Demerson at like the 3 spot, with Buddha at the top and Jalen Thompson at the top, I don't even see Keaton Crawford even having a chance or a fair crack at an opportunity in the defense unless something goes completely awry and there's crazy injuries. But like I do see him potentially making the 53 if he shows up really, really well in special teams, right? So when you're talking about these late round picks, that's going to be when it comes down to like these late round picks. It's going to be so interesting to see if they make the 53 because we've seen, what was his name? Jalen Davis, I believe. And then Tajon Palmer, late round picks that didn't make the 53, right? So we're going to have to kind of wait and see how this all shakes out, right? So at the end of the day, recapping: Walter Nolan, Will Johnson, Jordan Burch, Cody Simon, Denzel Burke, Hayden Connor, and Keaton Crawford to the Arizona Cardinals. Now, let me give some love here real quick. We do got some super chats piling up. Appreciate you guys for being here. Let's start off with my guy, Jake. What's up, Jake? Appreciate the $5 donation. He says this: got into a 4-wheel wreck today. Oh my God. Seriously. Didn't worry for 1 second because Monty is my... Jeez. Oh my God. Hopefully you're good over there, Jake. Wow. Didn't worry for 1 second because Monty is me. Bruh. Let me be serious here for a second. I hope everything's okay. Obviously, you're chiming into my stream, so I absolutely appreciate you for being here up and foremost. I'm glad you're okay. Hope everything gets worked out. That sounds scary. That sounds really, really scary. I'm glad you're okay. But General Manager Monty, awesome for it. If he gave you some sort of, light, that's awesome too. Let's move on over to Joe. Joe, appreciate the $5 donation. He says this: does this mean we might be looking at one of these guys, free agent wide receiver? Maybe. That's a good call out. It really is. It's a good call out. Like, we're going to talk about the undrafted free agents that the Cardinals just signed. And guess what? We got more offensive guys. Yay. Awesome. But we didn't get any wide receivers. We got no wide receivers, at least the list that we have right now. Is there going to be more people that we haven't seen so far? Maybe. We might see a longer list a little later on. Maybe tomorrow there's going to be a list that drops that the Cardinals have signed more people, right? But right now, I did get my hands on a few that I'm actually really excited to share with you guys, right? I'm actually really, really excited to share with you guys. And I'm talking about, obviously, the new guys that the Cardinals ended up bringing in as undrafted free agents. So just for the sake of the sake, ring the bell. Let's get it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about those undrafted free agents here for the Cardinals. And now I've only found 3 of them. Is there more out there? Potentially. Maybe there's going to be a little bit more later on, but these are the ones that we've seen so far. And these are the ones we're going to be talking about. So shout out to another Ohio State. Man, good Lord. I'm telling you, there's something about those Ohio State guys, man. There's something about those Ohio State guys. Monty loves them. He loves them. Loves them. Let's read into this first tweet here. Josh Fryer reunites with Justin Fry as the Arizona Cardinals sign as an undrafted free agent. So, offensive lineman coming our way. Offensive lineman help coming our way. I love it. Any chance you can get a big body in, let's get going. Let's rock and roll. I love to see it. I absolutely would love to see nothing more than Justin Fry. I'm sorry, not Justin Fry. I apologize. Josh Fryer being a focal point for the Cardinals moving forward. Now, don't know too much about him other than the fact that the Arizona Cardinals love Ohio State guys and he's an Ohio State guy, right? So Cardinals bring him in. Can he be a camp body? Can he be a guy that gets cut at the 53? Maybe, right? But still, I love that we're bringing in players and that there's guys out there that we left on the table that we want to bring in and sign to a contract. So Josh Fryer, welcome to the Bird Gang. Let's move on over to the next guy, and that's going to be none other than another offensive lineman, and this is Jeremiah Byer. Jeremiah Byer. He's from Florida State. Another offensive lineman, just like Monty Ossenfort said. Any chance to bring in these big body guys is a step in the right direction. You never know what's going to happen with, injuries and anything like that. So, offensive lineman Jeremiah Byer. And I'm going to do a little bit more of a deep dive a little later on once we hopefully get a bigger list as to who the players the Cardinals ended up bringing in and signing. So, yes, there's that. So, 2 offensive linemen. So, for the people out there, they're like, why didn't the Arizona Cardinals bring an offensive lineman in, Mike? Why not? Why not? Well, I mean, they brought in these guys. So, I mean, I'm cool with it, right? I'm cool with it. Next player, this is the one I'm really excited about. This is the one I'm really, really excited about. Out of all 3 of these guys that I found, this is the one that I'm really excited about. Elijah Simmons, out of Tennessee, 23 years old, 6'2", 340 pounds. Good God. Good golly, Miss Molly. 340 pounds. 6'2". We're talking about an absolute fridge. A fridge in the middle of the defensive line. A fridge, ladies and gentlemen, in the defensive line. Now, per the stats, you're not going to get glorified with the thoughts of, oh man, he didn't do anything. The stats don't say he does anything. This is a space heater. This is a space heater, ladies and gentlemen. This one I'm really, really excited about. Now, is he going to pan out in the NFL? I don't know. I mean, but I think this is the guy that J.J. Watt ended up tweeting a long time ago, and I mean years back, where he saw this guy as a high schooler. I believe he was a high schooler, and he was in the draft. He was announcing a pick, or one of his schoolmates was announcing somebody in the draft, and J.J. Watt ends up tweeting, this guy's got to be in the NFL one day. Guess what? He's in the NFL, right? Those are the type of stories that you love to see. And, I mean, if J.J. Watt gets the sign of approval, I mean, who am I to argue with that, right? Let me see if I can find that real quick. Let me see if I can find that tweet real quick. I can't. I don't see it. But oh yeah, here it is. Okay, this is the picture. This is the picture. I don't see the tweet exactly, but this is the picture that I was talking about. This man was like with his teammates, and JJ Watt retweets that picture of him on the stage in the draft. And this was probably several years back. This is probably several years back. And this is probably before JJ Watt was even a Cardinal. Or it might have been during the Cardinal. I don't really 100% remember. But this is the picture I was talking about. Look at this. Yeah, right here. Right this. Number 72. Right there. That's him. Number 72. Big, big, big space eater, ladies and gentlemen. And this tweet right here says former nose tackle Elijah Simmons has signed an undrafted free agent deal with the Arizona Cardinals, according to his agency. He showed the ability to man gap at Tennessee and had an impressive pro day showing. Strong get for the team that has already been serious about revamping that defensive line. Space eater. Space eater. Beef. That's the one I'm really, really excited about. I'm really, really excited about Elijah Simmons. I really am. Is he going to get an opportunity? I mean, we'll have to kind of wait and see how it shakes out, right? But the Cardinals are doing everything they can right now to make sure that defensive line, A, is getting younger, and B, we're getting dogs for the future. Dogs for the future. Just look at the guys that we have right now. The Arizona Cardinals right now. Defensive linemen. Let me, I don't have a graphic, but let's do this, right? I don't have a graphic, but let's do this. Let me go ahead and bring up the depth chart right now, and you tell me this isn't a revamp, right? This isn't a revamp. You tell me this isn't a revamp here. Check it out, right? Look at this D-line. Josh Sweat, Walter Nolan, Dalvin Tomlinson, Justin Jones. He hasn't really done anything for us, I ain't gonna lie, so I'm not gonna be too excited about his name. Baron Browning, with the small sample size that he's provided to us, looked pretty solid. Zaven, I forgot about Zaven Collins. Good Lord, what are we gonna do with Zaven? Ibijo Jalari can stay healthy. Dante Stills had flashes here and there. At one point, he was leading the whole team in sacks. Calais Campbell, Bilal Nichols, Darius Robinson hopefully stays healthy. This is a young defensive line. A young defensive line that's up and coming. The Cardinals have a very, very, very particular plan. And Monty Austinfort probably is going to come out here and say, oh, that wasn't our goal this offseason. That's just the way things worked out. Now, you were trying to revamp that defense, and you did a great job at it. Great job at it. Fantastic job at it. You revamped this defense, or you made the worst position group that the Arizona Cardinals had at the 2024 season, at the end of the 2024 season, to probably one of the best cores we got in one season. One of the best cores that we got. I'm not worried about the defensive line anymore. Heck, I wasn't even worried after we got Walter Nolan. I wasn't worried anymore. I still wouldn't have added an edge player, but I wasn't worried, right? Everything else was cherry on top of the ice cream. I forgot about Jordan Burch. Holy crap. I forgot about talking about Jordan. We got Jordan Burch too. Justin Jones take a back seat. Bilal Nichols take a back seat. It's time for the young guns. Give me Darius. Give me Dalvin. Let's put a veteran in there. But Josh Sweat, veteran. Walter Nolan. And the people to potentially back him up, Calais. It's just going to be good. It's going to be good. Monty is absolutely cooked. Done a fantastic job, and he deserves every single flower he can get. Is there a couple picks in the draft that we probably could have gone a different direction? I mean, some might say, right? Some could probably put out some valid points out there, but you're not going to bat 1,000. The draft isn't for you to get every single pick. I mean, obviously, that's the dream. You want to land every single pick in the NFL draft. That's the dream. But it's not realistic. It's not real. What you're hoping for in the draft is to get 3 or 4 solid starters. If you get a superstar in there, that's the cherry on top of the ice cream. You're not going to bat 1,000. It's the way that it is in the NFL. Even one of the best draft classes the Arizona Cardinals has ever had, with Larry, Dockett, and wasn't it Carlos Dansby, if I can remember correctly? That's only 3. Now, there might have been more, but those are the top 3 guys that were bona fide starters, right? I could have sworn it was Dockett. Let me check myself. Let me check myself. Yeah, I'm right. Oh, yes, I'm right. Let's go. I'm right. Larry, Carlos Dansby, 2nd round, 3rd round, Darnell Dockett. One of the best draft classes. And that was 3 of them, right? And I mean staple points, right? Staple guys, right? Staple guys that are going to be for you with your team for 4 or 5 years, right? So, yeah, I mean, that's what you're looking for in the draft. So, yeah. My guy in the chat says, Mike, call Monty the GOAT. I mean, he deserves it, brother. What he's done, and here's the thing. What he's done in year 1, it was a slow process, but that's what you got to do, or that's the direction the Cardinals took, right? It's okay. It makes it all the more better to know that we are good at drafting and we get players in the draft that we're going to utilize, right? That's the number one thing I got taken forward to, or taking away from the idea that what Monty can do great. He just proved to me that he can go ahead and do a really good job in free agency. He just proved it this offseason. Was I a little worried about the free agency aspect of it all with Monty Ossenfort? I was a little worried about it. I'm not going to lie to you. I was a little worried about the free agency aspect of Monty Ossenfort's game. I was happy with this for this drafts. This year, free agency, killed it. Draft, killed it. Trading, we're still not there yet. Unless it's trading draft picks. But we're still not there with trading players. I still don't feel like we got that value back. But honestly, I will take free agency being good at, and I will also take drafting being good at, because draft is where you are making your team for the future. The draft is very important. And that's one thing that wasn't very valued, unfortunately, during the last regime. So here we go. Here we go. Let me ask you guys right now in the chat. Let me ask you guys right now in the chat. Who is your favorite drafted or undrafted player the Arizona Cardinals got? Who is your favorite drafted or undrafted player we got within this weekend? Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Who is that one guy? Let me know here in the chat. I feel like I know the answer because it's probably the same answer as me. I think the Cardinals did a really, really stand-up, bang-up job. But I'm curious to figure out what your guys' mindset is. Who's your favorite pick that you're like, man, oh man, this is the one that I could not sleep that when it happened? Well, who was that? Who was that for you? All right. Will Johnson, me, Will. Will Johnson. Definitely Will. Nolan. Okay. Either Walter. Okay, there you go. We got something different there. Okay. Walter, Nolan, or Josh Fry. Okay, I see you. All right. Got some Nolans there. Got a lot more Wills. I'm not gonna lie to you. When we got Will Johnson, yo, I was shaking. I was shaking like a leaf. I was in shock that the Cardinals were doing what they should have been doing and not play the game of all, what if? The medicals came back and they said he was fine. He's good to go. Now, injuries happen. Unfortunately, the circumstances happen like that. Injuries happen sometimes. Let's hope this young man can stay healthy. Because if he can stay healthy, we got a secondary that could potentially be feared for years to come. I mean, the defensive line is automatically revamped. There's the defense to me right now. The only one position that I'm still a little like, is probably going to be the Mike linebacker position right now with Akeem Davis-Gaither. And the only reason why is because there's a lot of unknown with Akeem Davis-Gaither. That's the only reason why. I'm hoping that he succeeds. I'm hoping that he proves everybody wrong. But on that defense right now, the only position that I'm like, I'm a little worried is the Akeem Davis-Gaither position, which is probably going to be the Mike linebacker. Because I'm not sure if Mac Wilson's going to make the adjustment and go to the Mike, or he's going to stay at the Will. I'm not 100% sure how that's going to work. But I'm just going to call it the Mike linebacker because it's the Akeem Davis-Gaither position. That's the only one that I'm a little worried about. Secondary or safeties, good. Secondary, love them. Defensive line, upgraded. On the offensive side of the ball, I was really hoping the Arizona Cardinals was going to add a wide receiver. I really was. I was really hoping the Arizona Cardinals was going to be able to add a wide receiver. But I saw this in the chat a little earlier. But I also did make a video about this guy, undrafted player that I really, really do like. Do we finally give him an opportunity? If you know who I'm talking about, let me know in the chat. Mr. Xavier Weaver, undrafted free agent out of Boulder, Colorado. Yes, he was a wide receiver for Shador. Yes, he was. He's a playmaker in college. A playmaker in college. Is he finally going to get his opportunity? Now, Greg Dortch might be the slot guy for the Arizona Cardinals, but one thing that I've said is I'm very surprised that the Arizona Cardinals are trying to run it back with the same wide receiving core. I've said that once, and I'll probably still say it again, right? I think Tez Johnson, which is a guy that I was pretty high on, he ended up going back to, I think he went back with Bo Nix, so that means he's with Denver, I believe. I didn't catch the last part of the draft. When the Cardinals picked, I was pretty much already done. Like, that was a long morning. But there was a couple other wide receivers that I really did like as well. But I'm not going to lie to you. I do like Xavier Weaver. He just got to get the opportunity, right? Are we just going to see an opportunity finally? Hopefully. Hopefully. We got potential right there, man. We got absolute potential with Xavier Weaver. I ain't going to lie. We got some absolute potential here with Xavier Weaver. He had a really, really good college season. Now, he was actually hurt. And like I explained in that video, he was actually hurt in that last season. I believe it was that last season. I got to rewatch my video. I don't remember if it was last season or that last season in Colorado or it was the year prior. I think it was the last season that he was with Colorado. But this was a wide receiver that was with South Florida for a very long time and did a fantastic job in 2023. Over 900 yards, 908 yards to be exact, 4 touchdowns. We don't need him to be wide receiver number 1 in this offense. No, he's 6'1", 170. Put him in the slot. Give him some reps. I like Xavier Weaver. Is he going to get the option finally? I don't know. Is Greg Dortch going to? I don't know. We'll see. Once we get a little closer to training camp, we'll be able to see how it all works out. But Xavier Weaver might, just might, get the nod. RV Davey in the chat says, I don't think he sucks. I like Dortch. I till the day I still like Greg Dortch. I do. I think it's just time to see something different, right? I think it's time to see something different. I think it's time to see another opportunity. I don't know, man. There's something about Xavier Weaver. If he comes out and he doesn't exceed the expectations that I think he can be, and I'm not saying a Pro Bowler. I'm not saying that. But if you can get production like a solid 400, 500 yards in the slot, that's a good wide receiver in the slot. That's a good number 3. We just obviously got to get the passing game going because that was a big, big headache. With the exception of obviously force-feeding it at times to Marv or force-feeding it all the time to Trey McBride, everybody else kind of fell below the wayside, right? Michael Wilson, I'm sorry, not Mike. Michael Wilson has never exceeded 500 yards. He's our wide receiver number 2. We got to get that passing game going. We got to get it better. I'm still mad at Andy Isabella. I mean, it's probably not his fault fully either. The Cardinals had a very weird plan under that last regime, and they've really, really, very, very much so favored smaller wide receivers that were speedy because of the air raid offense. They thought that they was going to be able to work out, and it never did. It never translated, right? But I mean, Andy was not the only guy that didn't really work out for us, right? We had a lot of wide receivers that didn't work out for us. Remember, what was his name? Johnson. It was the same guy. What was his name? I know his last name was Johnson. Well, okay. Well, there's Rondo Moore that didn't work out for us as well. Smaller guy. All right. Andy Isabella didn't work out for us either. Smaller guy. I believe it was the same draft as Andy Isabella. Who was the third wide receiver that was drafted? It was Andy Isabella, Akeem Butler. Who was that third one? He wasn't a smaller guy, but there was a lot of wide receivers that the Arizona Cardinals ended up drafting. Chad Williams out of Granville. Remember that guy? or Gramble. It was so weird. Like we just did some weird things. Not Chad Williams. No, that's what. No, not Chad Williams. It was the same draft that we got 3 wide receivers: Hakeem Butler, Andy Isabella, and there was a third guy named something Johnson. What was his name? Keyshawn. There you. Thank you, Keyshawn Johnson. And I liked them coming out of college, but my favorite was Hakeem Butler. My favorite was Hakeem Butler. Remember all the hype that he was practicing and he was working out with Megatron and how big that guy was. Right now he's in the UFL, I think, right now. Good for him. Good for him. He's killing it in the UFL, last I heard. Him and Andy Isabella are both in the UFL right now. So good for them. But I think when it all comes down to, man, yeah, we've struggled a lot when it comes down to wide receivers, drafting them, right? So Keyshawn Johnson. That's who. Keyshawn Johnson. Yep. It's all starting to come back to me now. Antoine Wesley. No. I think was Antoine Wesley. I don't think he was drafted. I think he was a I forgot about him. I forgot about Antoine Wesley. Dang. Man, these names are starting to come back. Hakeem Butler, holy moly. I was wondering what his name was. I forgot about. Remember? Hakeem Butler was supposed to be the next best thing since sliced bread. I think we used a 3rd round pick, if I'm not mistaken, on him. It might have been a 4th. It might have been a 4th round pick. But Hakeem Butler out of Iowa State was supposed to be the next, what we were calling Megatron. My God, this guy's got a big frame. Did you see what he did in Iowa State? He did not amount to very much. I don't think the physicality was there. I don't know. It just, maybe he was too young. Maybe it was too big for him. I don't know. But yeah, man, we got pretty burnt there. So I hope that the Arizona Cardinals continue to add more undrafted free agents. The ones that I've heard of so far are going to be the 3 guys that we mentioned a little earlier, right? The 3 guys that we mentioned a little earlier. Josh Fryer, Jeremiah Byer, and then the one I'm really excited about is Elijah Simmons, right? Adding some more beef in the middle of the defense, right? So, yeah, man, I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what 2025 is going to hold for us. This is going to be a really exciting season. So darn happy. Randall in the chat. What's up, Randall? I would love to see the air raid offense with the current offense just to show how dominant Marvin Harrison Jr. could be. I mean, there could be a world where Marvin Harrison Jr. can still be dominant. It's just, I really want to know what exactly the main reason. Well, I guess the main reason why we went run heavy was because that was the scheme that came with Drew Petzing, right? That was the scheme that came with Drew Petzing. So that's why we were a run heavy offense, right? We were supposed to be old school, but that's the thing. Like if you bring in a guy like Marvin Harrison Jr., we expect numbers. We expect the flash. We expect 1,100 yards. There is a world where you can still be a dominant run offense, but still have a really good productive passing game. There's a world. Play actions, open up play actions. Yeah, I mean, shoot the ball deep. But the thing is that Marv was the number 1 wide receiver in an offense that was primarily run. And then you got one of the best tight ends that was pretty much hogging up every single time the ball was throwing to him. Every single reception, he was eating it up. So Marvin, although had a good rookie season, there's things he needs to work on. And I know he knows. I know he knows that there's things he needs to work on. So that's one thing that I'm really excited about. I think he's going to take that next step this next year. I think he's going to be one of those breakout players for the Cardinals in year 2. It's going to be a very, very exciting thing to see. Dan Arnold was a dog. We were all excited about Dan Arnold. I bought into the hype of Dan Arnold too. I ain't going to lie to you. I bought into the hype of Dan Arnold. Somebody explained it perfectly on my chat a few weeks back. He was a wide receiver in a tight end's body. He was a wide receiver in a tight end's body. Somebody explained it perfectly to me. It's just, it never really transpired. I know he went to Jacksonville and maybe some other places. I think the last I saw, he might have been with the Saints last, but it never really kind of transpired to very much his career, unfortunately. Remember Jonathan Ward and Max Williams? I remember Max Williams. Jonathan Ward. Let me see. Maybe if I look him up, I'll remember. Running back? What year was this? What year was this? It does say he was a Cardinal running back at one point. I do remember him. Good Lord. I do remember him. Man, okay, well, let's stop taking it back. Yeah, we're getting deep. Yeah, we're getting deep. Jonathan Ward and Max. Yeah, I remember Max Williams. Yeah, I think he was a little bit more recent than Ward, if I can remember correctly. But yeah, man, this draft class has been very, very good. And honestly, when it comes down to obviously talking about it here on the roundtable, this coming Tuesday, I'm puffing out the chest, man. I feel like the Arizona Cardinals had themselves a really, really good draft. Truly, I think we had the best draft in the entire NFC West. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. I think we had the best draft class in the entire NFC West, bar none. This is the 49. The 49ers had a boatload of picks. A boatload of picks. Check this out. The only one that I like from them, I mean, there's some good players. I'm not gonna say they're all like, I'm not gonna say they're bad, but Michael, like Michael, Alfred Collins, I think he's a good player. But like, how do you end one of your picks with getting a quarterback in Curtis Rourke? What the heck? Like, I don't know. It doesn't. Connor Colby is actually pretty solid. That's a solid pick. But I don't know, man. It doesn't do anything for me. I think the worst one was probably I think it's the Rams. I think the Rams was the worst one for me. I think for next year, it's solid because they got 2 first-round picks next year. But I'm not impressed with their draft class. I'm really not. I'm not impressed with their draft class. I like Chris Paul Jr. I'll give you that. I like Chris Paul Jr. I'm not impressed with it. I'm not impressed. They traded out of the first round to get a first-round pick next year, so they got 2 first-round picks next year. That's where it's going to come to fruition. But right now, I don't think they did that a good one, bro. I really don't. The Seahawks, I think, did pretty solid. I think the Seahawks did pretty solid. Not better than the Cardinals, but I do think they did pretty solid. Where's the Seahawks at? Here we go. Gray Zabel, probably one of the top guards. Nick Imamin Rory. I know I butchered that. After him, I like the Torrey Horton. Damian Martinez, good running back, but you got Charbonnet and you got Kenneth Walker. How is he really going to translate? You get a quarterback that I don't know if there's a real clear vision and as to like when he's going to play or if is he truly just going to be a developmental guy. But you use was it a 3rd-round pick on him or was it yeah, use a 3rd-round pick on Jalen Milroe. So like I don't know. I think the Cardinals did better. I'm gonna be real. I think the Cardinals did better. And call me biased. That's fine. I think the Cardinals did better. Did the best. Cardinals opinion. What's up? We got another super chat coming our way. Cardinals opinion coming out and said, "Would you want to bring back Chandler Jones?" Yeesh. Serious question? I mean, I don't know if Chandler Jones is in the right state of mind to play football anymore. I'm gonna be real. I still rock my Chandler Jones jersey here because he's still to the day one of my favorite edge rushers that we had on this team. That's why I always rock out my Chandler Jones back here. One of my favorite players, watching him week in and week out when he was a Cardinal. But I don't think he's even in the state of mind to play football anymore. I'm gonna be real. I don't think he's even in the state of mind to play. I mean, I don't know. There was a few videos, and I'm not sure if he was on something, but I don't think he's even in the state of mind to do that. I love Chandler Jones, and I appreciate everything he's done for the Arizona Cardinals. Still one of my favorite Cardinals to the day. But I don't think he's even in the right state of mind to even be a football player anymore. I'm going to be real. Appreciate the super chat, though. Randall in the chat says, man, the Rams could have turned an average player into a star. They just have elite coaching. That's fair. That's true. That's true. One thing that you do always got to worry about is the fact that they got Sean McVay there. You're 110% correct. So on paper, these guys, to me, right, and my opinion is a dime a dozen, right? So I still do feel like they have per value, with the exception of obviously getting a 1st-round pick next year. I don't think they have the best draft class. I think we do. Followed by the Seahawks. Next, the 49ers. And then the Rams. I'm going to be real. I'm going to be real. But yeah, 2025, get here fast. 2025, get here fast. Get here fast. Yo, Lennon, my guy. Somebody was asking about you during our live draft party. Somebody was asking about you. I'm glad you made it. Appreciate you, Lennon, for being here. Andy in the chat. Where's Andy? Chandler Jones is old now. He was the best Cardinals pass rusher. Oh, bar none. Bar none. Oh, yeah. Absolutely bar none. That's why still to the day. That jersey's probably going to stay back there. I love that jersey, man. So here's a question, right? I mean, are the Cardinals done? Are the Cardinals done with free agency? Sorry, undrafted free agents. Are they done? Are they done with potentially bringing somebody else in? Right? Because right now, I don't believe the contracts have been assessed yet for like over the cap. And I don't expect them to. There were so many players being added, and I doubt that all these players are already on over the cap or spot track or anything like that, right? I doubt it. Let me just double check. Yeah, no, not a lot of these players are not even on there yet. So right now, per over the cap, the Cardinals have $32.1 million in team cap. Keep in mind, a lot of the draft class is going to take a chunk of that. And of course, you want to always keep some on the side too in case anything happens. But do the Cardinals do something else? I don't know, right? It's going to be something that we're going to be following very, very closely. If I look at the roster right now, I would probably say that the Cardinals maybe, unless the plan is to give Xavier Weaver a fair crack and a fair opportunity, maybe a wideout. Maybe a wideout to kind of help out. Maybe somebody that's going to be able to spread the field a little bit better, take the top off. I still do think wideout can potentially be something that the Cardinals can to reach out for. Ivan, what's up, Ivan? Cardinals have wiggle room and money to spend. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw another splash before week 1. Yeah, before week 1. Yeah, for sure. I think we just got to make sure all these guys get established, right? Because we did bring some guys in, like, remember Simi Fehoko, right? We ended up bringing him in. We got Quez Watkins, Tristan Jackson were just a few names that were kind of brought in. Guys that were not had big names, but obviously the Cardinals were bringing in. But yeah, I mean, for the most part. Now, obviously, the Cardinals, they didn't get a quarterback. I think they're confident. I think they're confident with the 3 QBs that we got right now, right? Clayton Tune lives to see another day. Clayton Tune, unless they decide to only carry 2 QBs, right? Unless they decide to keep 2 QBs, I think Clayton Tune lives to see another day. Because, of course, it's going to be Jacoby at number 2. And, of course, K1 being number 1. So, yeah. I think the Cardinals did a fantastic job. I really do. It all starts with the first 3 picks. It all starts with the first 3 picks. Burch was a good pick. It really was. I'm not going to come out here and say he's a Pro Bowler. No, I'm not going to say that, but I do think he's going to be a really good player if he can stay healthy in terms of a good rotational piece. It's going to be fun, man. It's going to be a fun watch. This defense is going to be, it has upgraded night and day. Uncanny says PFF has the Cardinals at A+ grade. Sweet. Amazing. That's cool. Love to see it. Eno Benjamin and Keontae Ingram. Oof. I had a lot of high praises for both of those guys. Eno because of ASU, and Keontae Ingram. Wasn't he from USC, I believe he was, if I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong on that. Yeah, I was excited about him too. I think he ended up going to the Chiefs like practice squad. And he got elevated, but didn't really do very much. So, I mean, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Maybe restructure someone's on the roster. Maybe. Yeah, maybe that's always a possibility. Is anyone taking Cameron? I don't know who that is. I should probably do a little bit more research. I don't know who that is. Sean McVay is our coach and will win a Super Bowl. Oh, you're saying if Sean McVay was our coach, we would win a Super Bowl? I mean, USC, right? Was it USC? Okay, perfect. Yeah. US. Wait. USC. USC. Okay. Um, I like Gannon, man. I like Gannon. There's something about Jonathan Gannon, man. I like him. I think he's gonna be a good head coach. I mean, we got 8 wins under our belt. We could have had a hell of a lot more, man. Year 2 could have been way better than it was. We all know. We all experienced it. We all experienced the crash and burn. We all know. We don't have to re-bring it back up. But Jonathan Gannon could have had himself one of the best year 2s, if not for our offense stalling, right? Did you guys see that Shiloh Sanders, I think that's how you pronounce the name, Shiloh Sanders ends up signing with the Bucks? Shiloh Sanders goes to the Bucks. Shador Sanders goes with the Browns, and the Browns did not look happy in that war room. They're like, "Bro, what are you doing?" They probably got that call, man. They probably got that call somewhere up. Probably did. I don't like let Petzing prove it, man. Let Petzing prove it. Petzing got a lot of heat last year. A lot of heat. A lot of unnecessary, fully blaming heat. Do I believe there is a share of the blame to Petzing? Yes. And I still believe there's some share to blame at Petzing. But he got a lot of unnecessarily full heat last year. And I think some people just got caught up in that. But with what Petzing has done, he ran one of the best running offenses in the entire NFL in 2 years with a pretty solid, like we don't have every name on the offensive line. Like we made it work with the scheme. Now James Conner obviously helped out as well, but I think he definitely received unnecessary full hate last year. Let him prove it this year. Let him prove it. If we go back to the same cycle and it's the same stuff over and over again, then of course we'll figure it out from there. I don't know why they drafted 2. The Browns are going to brown me. It's exactly like I said about the Jets. The Jets are going to jet. The Browns are going to brown. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. The Browns are going to brown. They're going to do what they do. They're going to act like they're the smartest team in the world. It's just what they do. So dumb. Like you bring in Dylan Gabriel. So now you kind of ruin his chances to do anything in the NFL because you bypassed Shador and now somebody probably convinced you to just go after him. Like, it's crazy. And then Deshaun Watson, Deshaun Watson's career is cooked in my opinion. I don't think he's like that contract was a disaster for Deshaun Watson, a disaster. So, what happened to the room? I moved. Yeah, I moved. I'm in a completely new place, new studio, bigger place. Obviously, you guys can't see it, but TV wall mounted over there. There's still a little bit of a mess because I just recently moved, but yeah, I moved. Different, completely brand new studio, and it's 85%, and it's been 85% done for probably about a week now. It's probably going to get there once I get a little bit more time, but it's been very, very busy and hectic with all the news from the NFL and all that different stuff. So yeah, we moved. Jeffrey in the chat says Arizona Cardinals sign an undrafted free agent quarterback tomorrow. Who's available? Who's even available? I don't think I don't think there's anybody even worth it, to be honest with you. Max Brosmer, Seth Hannigan, Brady Cook. No, thank you. I'm good. I don't need any of them. I'm good. Yeah, there's a lot of guys that did not get signed. Xavier Restrepo was the guy that I really did like. He actually ended up signing, I believe, a undrafted free agent signing back with Miami to go back with, sorry, to Tennessee to reunite with Ward. So that was cool. That was cool to see. But yeah, a lot of these guys that are available still, all we can hope is a hope and a prayer that they're going to be solid. That's all we can hope for. If they're a Cardinal, of course, if they're a Cardinal. Let's read a couple more chats. Then we're going to be closing up shop. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. It is a late stream today, and I appreciate every one of you guys for being here. Smack the like button if you guys can do me that huge favor. Right now, we're sitting with over 130 people here on a Saturday night, chilling, talking Cardinals content or Cardinals news. So I appreciate you guys for being here. Smack the like button if you guys can do me that huge favor. We will be closing up shop, but let's go ahead and read the last few comments, and then we're going to be closing up shop. Highness in the chat says, we did it big this year. Absolutely. Absolutely. Dakota says, I've seen so many NFL players early 2000s, 2010s, 2020s. Who have we signed? Yeesh. Yeesh. My guy. Oh, my goodness. He signed a lot. He signed a lot. Let's go with IMU. Everybody on the card staff got unnecessary heat with all the injuries, along with the low win expectations from experts, analysts in the beginning of the season. The Cardinals did a fantastic job. The problem is that the narrative of constantly crashing and burning at the end of the season is always going to be a narrative that follows the Cardinals under whoever is there, right? It was a tag that was with Kingsbury and Kyler. And now that denominator left, it almost kind of feels like it is going back on Kyler. So I agree. The expectations in the beginning of the season probably exceeded, which most people would have, I don't think people would have predicted it, except for maybe like myself, a delusional Cardinal fan. But yeah, you expect to finish those games in November and December. That's playoff football. November and December football. And the Cardinals just unfortunately couldn't get the job done. But yeah, that narrative is always going to follow. That stigma is always going to follow. Tampa Bay Bucks sign defensive attacker. Cool. All right. With that being said, there you go. Ivan with the great comment. Gotta go, Mike. Great show. Road to 17K and 17-0. Love to hear it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be closing up shop right here. You guys are all truly amazing. Thank you, everybody, for all the people that were on these watch parties, everybody that are watching the videos that I'm posting and that have that post notification bell on when I'm dropping the next video or when we go live. So thank you, everybody. On to 2025. Right? The big thing that we got going on for us right now is that we got the schedule coming out in May, and then we're going to be getting some sporadic stuff here and there. But for the most part, I think everything has been excitement of the offseason has hit that peak already. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, appreciate y'all for tuning in. Smack the like button on your way out. Subscribe if this is your first time here on the road to 70K. Cannot do it without you guys. So appreciate you guys for tuning in. Have a great rest of your day, and as always, go Cardinals.